All right, so my friends, the first thing you should have is you should have a finished Santa that is all colored. Now, I know that the teacher who's in the library for me today has started to bring around some supplies. So the first thing we're going to want to do after our Santa is finished is we're going to want to get our ruler. And our ruler is going to be a great guide for us to know how much yarn we need to cut. So you can either place your ruler on your table this way or that way, whatever way works best for the way your hands work. I'm going to do mine this way just so everybody can see how much yarn I'm going to cut. And so basically this is super easy. What you're going to do is you're just going to start your yarn at one end of the ruler, and at the other end of the ruler, you're just going to take your pair of scissors and then you're just going to snip it. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If it hangs over a little bit one edge or the other, that's fine. And also, if it's a little longer or a little shorter, no worries. Okay, so we have one piece of yarn, and then we're going to need to do that again because we need to have two pieces of yarn. So my friends, here we go. I'm going to pull it down to the end, and then I'm going to take it to the other end. I'm going to pick up my scissors, and I'm just going to give it a snip right there. Okay, so now we have our two pieces of yarn. So after we color, that's going to be our step one of building the parachute. So I want everyone to work on that. When we have our two pieces of yarn, our step two is going to be to get our coffee filter. The coffee filter is going to act like the top of our parachute. Now this is the way we use it if we were going to make coffee, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to take it and we're going to flip it over. Okay, so it stands up kind of like a parachute would be. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is you're going to just take your hand and just very gently push it down so it's kind of flat. Now, if it pops back up, that's okay. That's not going to make any bit of difference. But we don't want to smush it down really hard. Just kind of a gentle pat down. You didn't hear my hand smacking on my desk, so very gently. All right, we're going to need to have our tape dispenser. Okay, and there's one at each table, so obviously my friends are going to have to share. So here's what I'd like you to do. You're going to take one piece of your string, okay, and I'm going to move my tape dispenser out of the way just so we can see what to do. And we're going to take one piece of string, and then we're going to put it on one side of the top of our parachute, okay? And then we're just going to come over here. We'll grab our tape. We're just going to get a smallish piece of tape. We don't need a really big one. We're going to put it over top of our string. Try to kind of hold it straight. And then we're just going to press down. Okay, that's the first part of step two. All right, now, when we finish that, we're going to do the same thing. Now we want to try to come straight across. So we're going to take our second piece of string. Okay, and you can lay your parachute back down because I know it wants to curl up on you. Okay, take your second piece of string. Okay, we're going to get a smallish piece of tape. Doesn't need to be real long. And then we're going to tape it just like that. All right, so that's the end of our next step, our step two. So we've already cut our string in step one, and in step two, we taped it on top of our parachute. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for a minute, and then you guys can go ahead and work on step two, and then we'll be back with step three in just a quick moment. All right, so friends, we're going to go on to step three. In step three, do we see we have our strings taped down? Okay, we're going to take our parachute and we're going to flip it over. Okay, and when we flip it over, the sides are going to be sticking up a little bit. Okay, and that's okay. We want that to happen. So now we need to bring in our cup because our cup is going to be what holds our Santa Claus. So what we're going to want to do with our cup is we're going to want, now remember, it's going to have to be up like this, but we want to tape, we want to flip it over, okay, and maybe turn it on its side. That's probably going to be the easiest way. So we're going to flip it over, turn it on its side, and then we're going to bring up one piece of string, okay? So I just grab my one on the left-hand side of my parachute, and I'm just going to pick it up and put it on one side of my cup, okay? Use your thumb to hold it there. get your tape dispenser. We need a smallish piece of tape, not real long, and we're going to tape down our string. Now, try to tape down your string closer to the top of your cup, because that'll keep your cup from sliding around too much. Okay, so we taped on one side. Now, we're going to take our cup and flip it over. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, we're going to take our string, get a smallish piece of tape, and tape it close to the top. Okay, and if it's not perfect, that's okay. Okay, and then when we're finished, and we hold up our parachute like this, we have the top of our parachute, and we have our cup right underneath it. And we can sit our Santa right inside our cup. Okay, and there you have a finished parachute. Now, make sure you're being good listeners and be patient, because if you need help, you can help each other at your tables, or you're going to have to wait for the teacher who's in for me today to come around to help you. But remember, they're just one person. So I know I can count on you guys to be excellent listeners and really patient. All right, my friends, I hope to see you tomorrow.